Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got an update coming out from Denmark to share with all of you, and we're also going to talk about Russia's shadow fleet of oil tankers that are used to circumvent sanctions and still transport oil. New report today: Denmark to step up patrol checks on Russian oil tankers in its waters. And a new statement as well from the Danish Maritime Authority is stepping up its efforts to ensure that oil tankers comply with security rules at sea, environmental protection, and protection of sailors. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about Russia's shadow fleet of oil tankers. We know that they're used to circumvent sanctions, transport oil around the world. Just recently, we had major sanctions being placed on well over 180 of these vessels, and now they're having trouble dropping off at ports like in China and India. We also had reports in the Baltic Sea a lot recently, several times now, that underwater sea cables are being cut. Sometimes some of the suspected ships happen to be Russian oil tankers as well, part of Russia's shadow fleet. And we had a recent report that I wanted to show you guys. This is from the Maritime Executive. It says Finland detains suspected sabotage ship for serious maintenance issues. Okay, this is another problem with a lot of these vessels is apparently they're not well kept. Many of them are very old. They're rusted out, falling apart. Sometimes the engines are dying, and we've even had this happen off the coast of Denmark. I think even near like France recently. Some of their engines just go out, and these ships just kind of set off sailing, and they can't even control them anymore. So these ships are just completely falling apart. They are not seaworthy. And I want to show you this report here real quick. So yeah, Finland apparently they detained a ship recently. Just in the last like month or so, there was a cable that was cut in the Gulf of Finland, and Finland eventually they seized a ship called the Eagle S. If you guys remember me talking about that. And I want to show you this report here just real quick in case you don't remember this, but apparently they seized the ship completely soon after doing an investigation as they found safety issues with this ship. So just real quick, it says here Finland's transport ministry has completed a port state inspection of the tanker Eagle S, the vessel suspected of sabotaging 5 Baltic Sea cables with its anchor on Christmas Day. After finding serious deficiencies, what they found, the agency has detained the vessel, preventing it from leaving port until safety issues have been corrected. Okay, and you can see here this was January 8th, just about a month ago when this was reported. We did do a report on this, and it says here Trafficom announced Tuesday that it has detained Eagle S for 3 of the 32 newly identified problems. These serious issues relate to shipboard fire safety, navigation equipment, and ventilation of the pump room. Other issues related to accommodations, electrical safety, and general maintenance, as well as SMS deficiencies, a category identified in the last 2 inspections as well. The vessel has such deficiencies that it is not permitted to operate on it until the deficiencies are corrected. Correcting the deficiencies will require repair assistance from outside the vessel and will take time, says Sanna Soninen, if I'm pronouncing that right, Finland's Director of Maritime Affairs. Okay, so you can kind of see that many of these ships are not seaworthy at all, and that's actually what Denmark's even worried about. On top of underwater sea cables being damaged, critical infrastructure, there's lots of talk that Russia's launching a hybrid warfare or hybrid war, against NATO nations, primarily in the Baltic Sea. We've been seeing a lot of that. So real quick, I want to show you guys this report coming out from Denmark now. From the Kiev Post, Denmark steps up checks tracking Russia's shadow fleet. Several undersea telecom and power cables have been severed in the Baltic Sea in recent months, with experts accusing Russia of orchestrating a hybrid war against Western countries supporting Ukraine. This is coming out today, February 6, 2025. So here's a photo of that Eagle S, the ship we were just talking about, that, as far as I know, should still be off the coast of Finland right now, as I have not heard whether they got this thing repaired to comply with some of the security concerns that this ship was having. Okay, so now it says here Denmark's maritime authority said Wednesday it will strengthen checks of oil tankers cruising its waters to target Russia's sanctions busting shadow fleet suspected of underwater sabotage. Several undersea telecom and power cables have been severed in the Baltic Sea in recent months, with experts and politicians accusing Russia of orchestrating a hybrid war against Western countries supporting Ukraine. The Danish Maritime Authority is stepping up its efforts to ensure that oil tankers comply with security rules at sea, environmental protection, and protection of sailors. This one's kind of hard to pronounce. I think it's so farts. Oh man, that's such a hard word to say, guys. Tyrelsen Agency, which is basically their Danish Maritime Authority, but I apologize, I can't pronounce that name. That's what they said in the statement. The increased security checks were in response to the activity of old oil tankers in the Danish Straits, which increased risk and safety concerns for seafarers and the environment, the statement read. Several countries have blamed recent underwater sabotage acts on a shadow fleet of vessels often aging, not properly insured, and under opaque ownership, carrying Russian crude oil and petroleum products embargoed since the invasion of Ukraine. The fleet has some 450 vessels, according to a report by the Kiev School of Economics. Many of them pass through Danish Straits, since Russia is heavily dependent on its Baltic ports for exports, particularly of crude oil. Political scientist Yevgeny Golovchenko, a researcher at the University of Copenhagen, told AFP, in addition to direct action against Russia's oil industry, Western countries have moved to sanction individual ships thought to be in the shadow fleet. Okay, so this is pretty big that Denmark's actually doing this. And I want to show you guys a map real quick so you can kind of see how effective this is actually going to be against Russia's shadow fleet. And this is on top of their ships already being heavily sanctioned right now. Okay, so let's jump on over here to Google Maps just for a moment. So Denmark is right here. Okay, so here's Denmark. And then a lot of these ships are actually coming from over here near St. Petersburg. And there's a port over here called Ust-Luga. And Ust-Luga is right in here. Okay, so this is a major port and shipping hub for Russia. There's lots of ships that come from here, primarily Russia's oil tankers. They come out of this port here. Some of them dock, I think, over here as well. You can see there's a major refinery here as well. So they come out of this port, and then they enter into the Gulf of Finland right here. Okay, this is where we had that cable that was cut in this area that ran from Estonia to Finland recently. The Eagle S that was held off the port or off the coast over here inside of Finland. So they travel through here, through the Baltic Sea, which is where a lot of these cables have also been cut in this area, allegedly. And then they travel over through Denmark. And you can see here, it's definitely a tight squeeze through here. And it'd be very easy for the Danish military to stop a lot of these ships and do their patrol checks. So they'll probably be stopping them a lot in this area. And then eventually they come out here on over to the North Sea, okay? And then over towards the UK and stuff. And this is eventually where they travel out onto wherever it is that they're headed, okay? So this is very effective, actually, that Denmark is doing this. And I'm not sure if they're going to be stopping every single ship, but if they did, they'll probably find that a lot of these ships are not seaworthy. And will they maybe be starting to seize a lot of these ships? I think that could be possible as well. And then, when this is all really Russia has as their lifeline to transport oil, what's going to happen if a lot of these start being seized because they're technically not seaworthy, or they have a lot of violations and security risks, okay? So this is Denmark taking action here and also protecting the environment, as we've been seeing a lot of these ships starting to sink all over the place as well, as sometimes they just happen to break apart, is what we've seen happening even near Crimea. Okay, so very big updates with Denmark today. And just real quick before I get you out of here, I want to show you this report, just one paragraph here from AP. Sweden rules out sabotage in Baltic undersea data cable rupture and releases a ship. Okay, this was regarding the MV Vezin, and we talked about this probably about 2 weeks ago is when this report came out. It was late January. So this update actually came out a few days ago, and I wasn't able to cover this, so I just wanted to squeeze this in here real quick and give you guys this update here. But it says Swedish prosecutors decided Monday to release a vessel belonging to a Bulgarian shipping company after ruling out initial suspicions that sabotage caused damage to an undersea fiber optic cable between Sweden and Latvia. So essentially they were coming out and saying that this ship had nothing to do with this, that essentially this cable was just cut due to natural causes. They don't know exactly what it was, but reportedly it was not the MV Vezin that had anything to do with this. This was actually the most recent report that we had of an undersea cable being cut. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So yeah, I mean, this is a very big report today, regarding Denmark, that they're going to be stepping up with their patrols, checking out more of these ships, making sure they are seaworthy and they are complying with the laws and regulations. So that way we hopefully don't see a major environmental disaster over there, or maybe these ships, if they are cutting these undersea cables, maybe this will stop a lot of these ships from doing so. As if they're going to be stepping up their patrols, maybe they'll be making sure that these ships are not dragging their anchors or whatnot. So I just want to give you guys a quick update here coming out from Denmark to let you know that they will be doing this, and there's going to be more pressure on Russia's shadow fleet of oil tankers. Already right now, there's a lot of pressure on them. So let me know what you guys think about all these details down below. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.